It's time to dive into our mailbag and unpack everything you want to know. We've got questions coming in hot about Jason Tatum's rehab process, the intriguing possibility of Damian Lillard joining the Celtics, some options for big men, and yes, even inquiries about this glorious bald head of mine. It's all lined up for today's episode of the mailbag, here on the Locked On Celtics podcast. Let's kick things off with the first question, sent in by Sarah. She says she's seen clips popping up on social media of Tatum working out, taking steps in a pool, looking all the way unassisted. She asks, what does this tell us about his recovery timeline now? I don't want to put a timeline on someone who's recovering from a serious Achilles injury. There are too many variables, but seeing him in the pool, working on his toes, letting that Achilles and calf engage together, that's a big deal. It's the kind of early marker that shows he's starting to rehearse the biomechanics needed for running and cutting. He's still wearing the boot, he's still being cautious. And we're not at the point where we can predict dates, but it's encouraging. We've hit mile 3 to 5 in a marathon solid pace, but many more miles to go, and bumps in the road could come at any time. So yeah, we're optimistic. But we're not putting a calendar on it just yet. Next up is Daniel in Toronto. He's been digging into a proposal that's been gaining traction among die-hard NBA fans. What if teams could spend freely on their draft picks, but were limited on free agents and trades? Imagine a system where you can load up salary-wise on your homegrown talent without penalty, but if you bring in players from outside, you get slapped with a stricter cap and stiffer taxes. It's an interesting concept, especially for franchises like the Celtics who build through the draft. But there are complications. First, what happens when teams trade picks on draft night? Take the Tatum pick. Technically it was Philadelphia's, but he ended up in Boston. Legally, do you treat him as a draftee or an acquired player? That's confusing. Beyond that, though, the real issue is parity. The new system is designed to spread the wealth, prevent dynasties, and encourage balance across the league. Yes, it's hurting teams like Boston right now, forcing them to reset the books after going heavy in recent years, but that's kind of the point. Over time, things should smooth out. Teams will hover around the first apron, avoid the second, and smart G-Miz will double down on scouting and drafts. That's where sustainable success will come from. So while I get it, Celtics fans are frustrated, it's unlikely this will change anytime soon. The NBA wants teams to share elite talent, and this structure is how they're enforcing it. Todd jumps in with an even more pointed take. Is this new apron system the beginning of the end for teams carrying to max contracts? Is the NBA basically saying, you can only have one big star? He's not wrong to wonder. Those second max contracts are going to be extremely costly under these rules. And paying to players $60 to $70 million a year each is a massive burden. But it's not impossible. It just forces teams to be more precise, more strategic, and more frugal elsewhere on the roster. This moves draft value and player development to the forefront. Front office execution now matters more than ever. Max deals will need to be negotiated carefully. Front office execs are going to have to structure incentives. Ask second-tier guys to take slightly less than they could demand. And think twice about handing out supermax deals lightly. They're going to have to lock in guys while avoiding pushing the needle into tax or apron territory. It's not the end of to max deals, but going forward to full-fledged back-to-back max stars on one roster is going to be exceedingly rare. The league is rebalancing the market, all right. Now we get to the question from Sebastian in the UK. Why would Boston consider bringing in Damian Lillard, who itself is recovering from a long-term injury? Look, if Damian Lillard is available on a veteran's minimum, he should be on Boston's radar. He's one of the premier shooters in the game and absolute clutch performer. And he's exactly the kind of locker room leader you want. Sure, he's 36, and yes, he's coming back from an Achilles tear, but even in comeback mode, he can offer instant defense in spurts. Imagine needing 10 points in a quarter off the bench and Lillard enters. And suddenly there's an explosion of scoring and creation. And the intangible, that Dame time energy, the mentorship for younger guys, the professionalism, it's invaluable. A minimum contract is almost a no-brainer. There's minimal risk, with upside that speaks for itself. James asks next about centers, with Luke Cornett and Al Horford departing. What should Boston do to fill minutes at the 5? The options on the market aren't glamorous. Adri Jordan or Bismack Biyombo would fit the classic low-cost, high-energy bench big mold, but they're not transformative. That leaves one of to pause. Take a chance on Luka Garza. Bring him in. Let him show in Summer League. Let the coaching staff evaluate him over the season. And if he develops, maybe give him a modest extension, or bring in a vet who can hold a role and play 15 minutes a night for cheap. My gut says Boston goes the developmental route. Garza's got upside, and Boston's front office isn't afraid to roll that dice. Simultaneously, why not let the second-round pick, Amari, get a look at Summer League? Maybe he steps up, grabs attention. The Celtics need bodies. They'll roll out what they've got. Evaluate internal and margin options, and maybe liven things up with a late signing or two. I wouldn't count out a surprise move. Boston's never predictable in that sense. Chase's question dives into team buzz, with the talent dipping and expectations shifting. Will the Celtics still be one of the top stories in Boston sports? Or will they take a back seat to the Patriots and Bruins? Boston is always going to be a hockey and football town first, with baseball and basketball in close pursuit. But this season feels different. Last year's Celtics were a well-oiled, polished team, good, consistent, but quietly so. This year, with roster turnover, unknown roles, and new faces stepping in, we're going to get drama. Rookie sparks, mid-season slumps, breakout moments. Those are the storylines that draw attention back to the Garden. Is Jalen going to go off? Will Hugo Gonzalez or a second-year player step into relevance? Expect mid-season chatter about trade rumors, hot streaks triggering debates, and fans looking at social media to keep up. That kind of unpredictability is exactly what creates buzz and makes it fun to cover. So yes, even with a Patriots first rush hour, we'll still have a seat at the top of Boston sports coverage. Finally, let's close this opening segment with a lighter note. Thanks to James, I love this one. He says he joined the Bald Club recently and wants advice about maintaining a polished dome like mine. Here's the truth, it's mostly genetics. My head shape is pretty symmetrical and smooth. Not everyone has that. Beyond that though, it's simple. I shave it myself. Every other day, I keep a fogless mirror in the shower, lather up, take my time, smooth it out. Then sunscreen. Don't skip sunscreen, or you'll burn your scalp. No fun at all. Maybe finish with a light lotion if it's dry. That's it. It's short, straightforward. Zero fuss, but if your head's built like a helmet, it can look sharp. That's your regimen right there, my friend. Moving on to the next batch of questions. We've got Todd asking about the direction of the league and whether it's even possible to maintain multiple star-level contracts under the current CBA. His take is pretty straightforward. Are we heading into an NBA where the supermax players on the same roster becomes a luxury of the past? And to be honest, that's exactly where things are headed. The days of assembling a big three with max deals for all are gone, unless you've got insane luck with the draft and you're building from the ground up. With rookie-scale contracts, take Phoenix, for example. They loaded up on Durant, Booker, and Beal, and now they're practically stuck. There's no room for flexibility, and the bench is paper thin. When you've got three guys eating up over $150 million, there's just not enough room under the apron for role players that can win you playoff games. What we're going to see more of is a staggered approach. You might have one max guy already in place, then wait a few years before adding the next big contract, allowing the books to stretch and accommodate. And even then, you better hit on minimum deals, on mid-level exemptions, and more importantly, on your draft picks. The new reality is that your scouts are your MVPs. A good scouting department can find hidden gems, late-round picks that blossom into rotation players, guys who can be extended on manageable contracts. That's where the battles will be won. Your second max player can't be someone you just throw a bag at in free agency. That's financial suicide. Now you have to develop him. Maybe it's a drafted rookie who earns his deal by year 4, or a young guy you trade for and then extend at the right time. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has the NBA rumor mill spinning at full throttle, whispers around the league suggest that the Boston Celtics could be on the verge of pulling off one of the most shocking acquisitions in recent memory, none other than Los Angeles Clippers star KAWHI Leonard. While no official confirmation has surfaced, the speculation alone has sent shockwaves through front offices and fan bases alike. According to sources close to the situation, the Celtics have quietly expressed interest in exploring the possibility of bringing Leonard to Boston. With the dust barely settling from their 2024 NBA championship run, the Celtics front office appears far from satisfied, potentially signaling their intent to form an even more dominant super team heading into the 2025 season. KAWHI, known for his stoic demeanor and lethal two-way game, has long been seen as a player who marches to the beat of his own drum. Injuries and inconsistencies in recent seasons have slowed his impact somewhat, but when healthy, Leonard remains one of the league's most feared playoff performers. Pairing him with the likes of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would arguably create the most formidable wing trio in the league, if not in NBA history. The Clippers, on the other hand, have faced disappointment in their pursuit of championship glory despite assembling a star-studded roster, with Leonard entering the latter stages of his prime and the team's long-term future uncertain. It's not unthinkable that both parties could be open to a new direction. While the rumored deal is still shrouded in speculation, with no word on what Boston would offer or what Leonard himself desires, the mere possibility has fans buzzing. Could this be the next seismic shift in the NBA's ever-changing landscape? Or is it just another wild off-season fantasy? One thing is clear, if there's even a sliver of truth to the rumor, the Celtics could be on the cusp of redefining the balance of power in the league once again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.